So here we are. Feels good. Feels good just to simply sit. Not needing anyone or anything to make us happy. The happiness that we feel comes from this deep well inside. And the ability to access it comes through our willingness to simply surrender and succumb to the fact that we're doing nothing. Nothing is happening. But within this realm of nothing, as we all know, everything happens. And that feels incredibly good. What we tend to need to pass through is the tendency or the need to have to do something. Because I think we can all connect to this interesting reality that we get into where we feel like we're being unproductive by just sitting in one spot. Or that our happiness is going to be met and found if we do A, B, and C. Or if we go to this destination or that. And these concepts are actually well formed, meaning we've talked about it as a collective consciousness for years now. But it's still relevant. We're still actually engaging with the same topic. So to have an opportunity to just simply sit and do nothing actually feels incredibly good. And maybe the turning point is that you're being given the permission to do absolutely nothing. It's good, right, Hajja? What does that mean? What does it mean? I mean, you are all sitting here. What does this mean? Why are you here? What brings you here? What is it that you wish to learn about meditation? Or do you even wish to learn about meditation? Maybe it's something else. But to place ourselves into a position where we're actually being challenged. I'm challenging myself at this moment in time to look deeper, to look at myself more earnestly, honestly, clearly, subjectively, objectively. So if you're really honest with yourself, then what brings you here? And I personally speak on a few different levels. So when I say what brings you here, I mean physically what brings you here. But I mean on the deepest level, what brings you here? Why are you here in this body? Which might sound kind of odd, but it's the truth. You're actually here for a reason. Generally, this is really all you think about is, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? And then, where am I going? And right now, we're giving ourselves this space to be with that. And through giving yourself the space, there's actually an alignment which is occurring. An alignment deep inside yourself, which is using the subtle sensory experience, the sensations, in order to communicate from the deepest soul experience, let's say, to the deepest part of who you are, this knowing place, all the way through everything which you've been given in order to become a human being. All the way up, through the mind, and then out into the world around you. So what you're showing me right now really is exactly who you are. And are you satisfied with that? With what you're showing me? Some say yes, some say no. But what am I talking about, really? What I'm talking about is becoming comfortable with the process. A very special kind of letting go. A letting go that is not flopping onto the floor in surrender, but it is loosening your hold on where you think you're going and what you think you need to be and what you think you need to do, and just simply start to follow, but with an incredible amount of intelligence, which is following a stream which runs straight through your entire being's experience. So not just the body or the mind or some other compartment, but straight through the being. And that flow is based upon exactly who you are. So what you're showing me right now is an iteration, a version of that authenticity in its whole and complete state. And the reason why I say that is because you're traversing something right now. You're going from point A to point B, even though you've already arrived. It's like a quickening. Everything just simply has to catch up. You're already there. This is the great confusion of a concept. So if you have an inkling of what I'm saying, and you are already, but can you show me a little bit more of your understanding? This is a huge point of difference. This is embarking on confidence in who you are. There's nothing perfect about being human. Some may push it as far as to say that there's not much fun about being human. But if you take that into account, that there's nothing perfect and there's not much fun about it, well then that's where the surrender comes in. You cannot do much about these two things. They're always kind of like lingering around. So why not just simply accept it and have fun with that? Enjoy it. You are imperfect and you're showing me exactly who you are right now. But in showing me who you are on an authentic level, you're actually working through the piece of the puzzle that you need to work through in order to get to the whole incomplete state. You're going there anyways, so why not willingly be that? How long have you been coming here for?
For sure since 2008.
Uh-huh.
I think a little before that.
Yeah. But how long would you say that you've been in the depths of a practice?
I would say innocently, since 4 or 5 years old, intentionally, as far as I remember, would have been 1991.
1991. So how old are you?
45.
A young man. And if you could just summarize, what has it been like?
The first word that comes to mind is playful. Yeah, many different things, but playful and sort of like a river, almost like I'm along for the ride. Something is moving, and my intention is just to pay attention and watch and listen. Do my best not to force. I think even do my best not to force the practice, but or force anything happening, but to join in with it more so.
Do you see his demeanor, his languaging, and his approach to the question? It comes from an incredibly deep well. It's very deep. And the reason why I wanted him to express himself in this way is because, I've been engaging with this young man for a few years now, and the demeanor hasn't changed even for 1 second. It's actually gone deeper into an honesty of who he is. And that level of frequency is one that creates incredible amounts of transformation from the inside out. And it's a surrendering through a language that we have with ourselves. A languaging that we have with ourselves. You talk to yourself all the time. What is it that you say? So there's a very specific current that is flowing. It's honestly for you. There's nothing that happens in an individual's life that is against you. And I'm the first to complain every once in a while about this or that or why. Because I like being dramatic. But I never lose sight on the fact that what I say and do means a lot. What you say and what you do means a lot. But there's something that we cannot really get away from. And that is, it's happening to you right now. Right now it's happening to you. This man is can I speak on that a little bit? Is making a big decision. He's deciding that he might want to take the path of a monastic. And that's a very deep mind, a very soft mind, a mind that has let go of a lot. Because us householder-like individuals, we sometimes romanticize or fantasize about being a monk. I don't know about you, but like a cave sounds really attractive. But the realities of a cave or a monastery is very, very different. There's no longer a distraction. So to get to this place within our minds where the conversation is actually congruent to that which you wish to achieve. Now, I'm not talking about a car or a job or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or the house, but the reason why you're here. And if we can focus on that quite truly, and this has been a statement, again, that has been iterated for 1,000 years and probably will be maintained for 1,000 years after this, is that if we can just simply develop the ability to connect to this deep, soft experience of the mind, we actually give way for all that we truly want to happen. Here in Edmonton, Alberta, this place is as significant as the Himalayas. The work that you do here within your yoga, your meditation, or your life is actually as important as somewhere in the East. And I say this because I know the Western mind. I have one. And the Western mind always looks at another country and says, well, they can do it because. But it's not true. They cannot do it any differently than you. You are the same as that. So I ask you again, what brings you here? Why are you sitting in this room? Not to scare you, not to be like, whoa, this guy is deep. But on a very conversational level, what brings you to this place? And if you're stuck, if you're truly stuck, well, how do we unstick you? And if you're just simply not sticking to where you're supposed to be sticking to, well, how do we just get you stuck? It's like that. Slipping from the grounds gained, or totally stuck when you're supposed to be flowing. I have one answer, and it's called meditation. It really works. The stuff really works. So I'm really happy that you're here. And I feel that you should keep coming into this space that you feel right now. As many times as you can throughout the day. And challenge yourself to rise to the occasion. Challenge yourself to rise to the occasion. in this particular instance, do not concern yourself with what everyone else says, or what the research says, or how much science there is involved, and connect more to what you feel, not what the mind produces, because the mind is connected to this laboratory, this inner laboratory that keeps kicking out images and dialogue based upon data that is being collected. So within this time of meditation or contemplation, we have to go beyond all of it and really connect to a central place, a seat within yourself, where you can just watch it all flow by you without any judgment, without any clenching or grasping, just letting it pass you by, until there's nothing left but peace and tranquility, absolute calm. You guys can jump in whenever you want. If you have a question or a comment. Me sitting here looking out there, what I see is a bunch of people that know what they're doing. I see that you know what you're doing, what's going on. I actually don't see you as being deficient at all. I see you all as being whole and complete. And if you're that person saying, well, you must not know me very well, well, consider it as a compliment, because this experience of whole and complete is sitting quite close to the surface. It's not way back there where nobody can see it. It's actually really close to the surface. I can see it. I'm not focusing on your problems. I'm focusing on the solution to that which you are challenged by. You already know what your problems are or your challenges within life. But now it's developing a solution. But this solution is incredibly subtle, right? It exists on the in and out breath. There's complete trainings of Buddhism and mindfulness that consists of you just inhale, exhale, breathing. That's it. That's all you do. Is watch your breath. And the reason why it works to watch your breath is because of what you're breathing into your body. And what you're breathing into your body is pure and absolute. It is what everything is made of. So by observing your breathing as it moves in and out of your body, but at the same time letting go of the control and surrendering, you allow the intelligence that is encoded within the breathing. When we become consciously deciding that we want this to happen now, the intelligence that exists within your breathing actually does all the work. And we must and only enjoy the process as it unfolds. Now, this is where the monastery gets very, very romantic, because you have so much time to breathe in and out. But not all of us are going to go to this monastery. But you have this time that you've allotted for yourself. And you have this space that you're cultivating. So this time is considered now, right? You're now. You're here. This is another emerging concept that is being talked about more now. And the space, well, the space is always here. So if the time is now and you're cultivating a maturing of this space, well, then you're always within that flow, that connection that the monastery really enhances. So I say that all of Edmonton is the ashram. Because what you find in a monastery or in an ashram is exactly what you find here. But it's microcosmed, which sometimes is even more intense. Because you cannot just turn around and leave. You're actually confronted with that individual or that circumstance again and again and again. Hence why the mind has to be surrendered and soft. But this is the same, right? We're not ever free from that situation or even that person until it's fully resolved. So the mind, which is becoming soft, is then freeing its own self from the circumstance of suffering. Not challenge, but the suffering within the challenge. So then what is being glorified is the experience found within the simplicity of the moment as it passes by. The simplicity. We enjoy the simplest things. Look, all these plants are so beautiful. The smell of a flower, all of these things. But now what we're learning is to find the beauty of our own mind. Your mind is incredibly beautiful when you are not looking at anything. Before and after the thought, there is an immense amount of beauty. It's not caught. It's actually free. A free mind, ready and willing to do anything. So what is this anything that you're choosing for the mind to do? Now become conscious on that. Become really conscious of what you wish your mind to do. And attempt to maintain that for as long as you possibly can until you succumb to the wave of tendency. And right back in it. So slowing down your life is an incredibly good idea. Which I know is challenging because I went from a very strict rule of doing one thing a day, nothing else but one. The rest was just sitting in one spot doing nothing, which was incredibly productive, to having 20 things to do, to then consciously having to decide, well, what is worth it and what is not. But if you are of that individual that just cannot, you are that body that must have to do it all right now. Why because it's your cycle. You're in that rhythm, you're in that flow. The planet said so. There's no other way around it. Well, then to find the simplicity within the complexity is the only answer. So this is why I can say I can see you as whole and complete, because I'm seeing the simple side of you. The complicated side I know is already there. Some of you have such an onslaught of chitter chatter that even if you wanted to, you don't even know how to turn your mind off. But to find the simplicity in the constant chitter chatter. Like, do you notice the traffic? But do you really notice the traffic when I'm talking? Which are you focusing on, the traffic or me talking? So if you choose my voice, then that's actually what is primary within your experience. What is secondary is everything else. So then if your mind just won't stop, well, who cares? Who said that it should? Who are you to say that your own mind should stop? If you've tried and it won't, then maybe it needs to just go. And that might sound radical, but it might be true. And if you let it go, and then all of a sudden it says, wait a minute, what about me? Well, then that is the opening to it then starting to find a restful place. But I'm not one to wait for my mind. My mind will just go this way, if need be, and I will just simply continue. Continue with the experience of the authenticity of what is my mind. And we've talked about this, or I've talked about this many times, but your thought, the train of thought, is, yes, a part of the mind, but is not the ultimate experience of your mind. So just because something is happening over here doesn't mean you cannot focus your attention right in front of you, or around you, or deep inside of you at the same time. I've stopped my mind many times from interesting patterns. It's possible. I wouldn't be sitting here and telling you a story that was not true. And if your mind is already still, well, then you have to go inside that quality of space, into the smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller experiences, meaning the center of 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 the center. And as we go deeper into the center, what is happening is that we're expanding further out and further out and further out and further out and further out into an eternal expression. So forever it goes in two directions, out and in. There is no end to how small things get. There's no end to how much it expands. There's no end to the calculation of time. There's no end to how much space exists. But yet we choose this. You're choosing this state of your mind. The current state of affairs might be incredibly positive or intensely negative, and it doesn't even matter. What matters is that you consciously decide what to do now with what you have to work with. It doesn't matter how positive or how negative, the techniques are all the same. Just simply sit, close the eyes, soften, observe, and allow your breath to move in and out of your body. And the stronger your awareness means the stronger your concentration. The stronger your concentration, the clearer your mind becomes, and the less tendency the mind has to just simply wander. But it's a very specific concentration and awareness combination that we use within a meditation practice. It's very specific. And that specification is based upon two things. One, consciousness on its expanded form, and two, consciousness as an individual experience, which is you. So then how do you calculate the effort needed along with the ease? What percentage of effort is needed and what percentage of ease in order to maintain a quality of space which is uninterrupted? The quality of space could potentially be the size of a golf ball, which is uninterrupted. And that's your focal point, your point of origin. And that focal point could very well, given the time, given the attention, begin to grow steadily over time. Which means this quality of space, which is uninterrupted, is the equivalent or is the equation of your conscious ability to be present, which is then growing bigger as the days go by. But what really helps this process is you beginning to understand why you're here. Why? What brings you to a practice of meditation? What brings you to this class? And this is a class. I'm actually speaking directly onto the topic of meditation, and through language explaining how to advance your meditation. So choosing a focal point and then being uncompromisable. There's no compromise. Some people in the room are incredibly good at this. There's no compromise. It is, period. No compromise. What does that mean? That means no compromise. What is no compromise? That means nada. Nothing. Other than that which you are wishing to achieve, which is balanced through your ease, which is softening, and your effort, which is strength. So soft strength is present, so that then you're able to work with your life. Your life, whether you like it or not, is asking you to go to places where you do not want to be. You don't want to be there, but you're there, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. Life keeps squeezing you into places you don't want to go. What the is going on? So this is a shared reality, which means it's okay. I know, you know what I know. We all know that sensation of experience. So this combination between your effort and the ease is allowing you to traverse that which you must experience with grace. With grace. Meaning the body gets sore in meditation. The body getting sore within meditation is the soreness that you experience within life, manifesting within your meditation. The boredom you experience within your meditation is the boredom you experience within your life as a microcosm. The anger, the sadness, the frustration, the doubt that you experience within your meditation is that which you experience within your life. So what you're doing is offering yourself a technique to work through all of that stuff with your eyes closed, humbly, peacefully, within your own self. Working it to a point that when you open your eyes, you're filled with a solution. Not a problem, but a solution. Which then you go out into the world and simply push through that tendency and just simply experience the center of that which you must go through. The center is always sweet, right? We know that. You must have a conversation and you don't want to have the conversation, but you have it. You feel better. That's the center. Now I know that I'm talking about your challenges. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the good times are easy. But within the good times of your days and your experiences, that's the time to ground even more. To elevate your consciousness that much more. To do all of the right things at the right time if possible. Because eventually, it's going to give you a challenge again. Back and forth, ebbing and flowing until it's complete. So the next time you make a decision that you want to meditate every day at this time that you choose, and then the time rolls around and you get this funny little voice that says, come on, you can do something else. There's tons of things. Or you're just so tired, I don't think you can sit. Don't listen to it. Do not listen to that voice. Yes. You can do the meditation lying down, yeah, for sure. And if you're really tired, then you're really tired, and then just take a nap and then meditate afterwards. But if you know what you want and what you need, then you just must do that. It's the only way. It's the only way that I've ever seen. Okay. Let's close the eyes. If you can commit to this quality of space right there in front of you, as being uninterrupted, but through a balance of effort and ease and staying constant with it, not being hard on yourself if it disappears. Then you will feel such a level of satiation. Is that a word? Such a level of elation, such a level of bliss that comes from the microscopic lights inside of you. Allowing the content of the mind to empty itself, but at the same time not being pulled. Simply steady your concentration into the space just there in front of you. Becoming very relaxed within your body, so that the body can help interpret through sensation what you are saying to yourself. See the finest sensation within the body. Feel the balance and elation that exists there. That finest quality of sensation transcends all gross level sensation, whether it be an ache or a pain, or just simply feeling good and relaxed. The finer vibrations of sensation rests at the center of the more physical sensations within the body. This is where our concentration should rest, within the finest of finest sensation. What we look at with our inner gaze is expansive eternalness. It just keeps going. So any image that we see which is not that eternal expression is impermanent, is a thought that you are showing yourself for a reason. What is the reason? And is it necessary to look at it now? The premise of meditation asks us to cease any fluctuating mind and simply connect to the eternal expression, to the finest of sensations. are able and capable to achieve meditation. Soften yourself into the finest sensation. Use your gaze to peer into the eternal. Look at the center of whatever it is that is there in front of you. See it all as being one thing. Keeping the eyes closed, bring full deep breaths into the body. Bring your gaze into the space just there in front of you, keeping the eyes closed. And there is a soft intensity from your gaze. And that intensity enables you to cancel out anything which would be considered distracting within your mind. And the softness enables you to maintain concentration within that space. So for the next few minutes, uninterrupted quality of space within your mind. Keeping the eyes closed, soften your gaze. And very slowly, very gently, allow the eyes to open. Now you may have noticed that when you were maintaining the quality of space, how all of your senses were involved. It took an immense amount of capacity in order to maintain that. But what is really interesting is that that same level of capacity is necessary to maintain all the space which you cultivate. It's just that you're used to it now. There's no trying. You just simply do it. So it feels challenging right now, but also good, is really worthwhile cultivating because it becomes second nature. It becomes very simple. This was really wonderful. So if you think in your mind that I don't know how to meditate, you do. You just actually learned right now. So if there is that excuse, I don't know, I just showed you how, which is really great. So now you know. The how is slightly different from the doing. So all that's left is for you to do it. If you know how, great. But now you got to do it. This was good. Good talk. Couple things. I would like to invite all of you October 5th. We have a really close friend, Reno, coming in from Vancouver, and he's going to do a class here, 5:30 class. So if you're into the posture practice, you should come check him out. He's really, really great. He's here for Bloom, and he's going to fill the 5:30 spot. Is that Monday, the 5th? Second thing is November 5th. I'm offering a meditation course called Orientation. So if you've never actually taken a course to learn how to meditate, this is the one. Orientation is orientating yourself to your body, your breath, your mind, your environment, both inner and outer, and your path of meditation. So you learn 3 simple things: how to sit, how to breathe, and how to watch your thoughts. The technique, which is the how, and then a little bit of science and explanation, which is the why. It helps to create clarity so that then your mind can say, okay, I've got this now. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.